Meatloaf is one of those old school recipes that I think we should bring back in vogue. I love it because you can change what the flavourings are. So today I'm going to make a really interesting version. This is my turkey and mixed fruit salad version. Sounds a little bit strange, but dried fruit and turkey go so nicely together, especially when it's baked and wrapped in smoky, streaky bacon. This is to die for. So here I've got apples, some peaches, apricots, some prunes. So mix it up a bit. If you're going to use the prunes, just make sure you take the pit out because we don't want that in our little food processor. And now I'm going to pop the lid on and then finely chop this until it's really sticky. All right, this is looking fantastic. See how it's a little bit sticky and it's finely chopped? That's what we're looking for. Now I'll just take that blade out and I'm going to pour this in with our turkey mince. Here I've got 500 grams of turkey mince and 250 grams of fatty pork. I think the fatty pork is crucial for this so we don't get a dry meatloaf. Now in with some onions, and these are onions that have been finely chopped. I've sauteed them in a little bit of oil and then cooled them down. Now to help bind this together, 1 egg that I'll crack straight into the bowl, along with some fresh breadcrumbs. And I'm going to start with 1 handful and I'll see the consistency once I start to mix this. Also a little bit of Worcestershire sauce and some brandy. My nan would always put a little bit of brandy in her meatloaf, so I'm going to add 2 teaspoons. And now a little bit of mustard. You can use some Dijon mustard, or you can do what I'm doing, and I'm going to add some hot English mustard. If you're going to add some hot English mustard, it does have a kick to it, so just add a small amount to it. Now get your hands in there and mix the fruit and the breadcrumbs and the onions together. That's looking good now, so I'm just going to wipe my hands and I'm going to add a little bit of salt. So pinch, perfect. And now I'm going to give it another really good mix. You do want to spread out that hot English mustard so it goes throughout the meat and there's not little pockets of spiciness there. All right, now that's ready to go. Now I've lined a 1.2 litre tin, a loaf tin, with some streaky bacon. You can use many different types of tins, but this is the correct amount of meat for this type of tin. Now the streaky bacon is going to keep everything enclosed in here, and it's also going to give it a really nice flavour. You don't need to cook the bacon first, so just line it so that you can't see the bottom of the tin. And then I'm going to fill it up nice and tightly with our meat mixture. Now press it in firmly. There's a little bit left over. Perfect quantity there. You do want to take it all the way to the top. Fantastic. And then I'm just going to fold over that little bit of overhanging bacon, a little bit there. And that's a very extravagant meatloaf. This is going to cook in the oven for about an hour at 180 degrees. It is important to place some water in the tray, so make a bain-marie. By doing this, the meatloaf is going to cook slowly so it doesn't dry out, because that's the biggest problem with meatloaf. It can be dry. This one is not going to be dry because we've done this. Now the meatloaf has come out of the oven. I've allowed it to cool a little bit in the water. Then I removed it from the water and just drained off any of the meat juices that were left in the tray. That's completely normal. And now I'm going to take it out of the tin, and you can see the bacon is light pink here and you've got caramelized bacon on the bottom, so you've got the best of both worlds with this. This is very similar to a terrine, but instead of adding pork livers or chicken livers to it, we've kept it really basic with just some fatty pork mince and some turkey mince. All right, I'm going to slice into this. You can serve this meatloaf cold, or you can serve it as I'm doing it, which is just warm. And have a look inside how beautiful it is. You can see the speckles of dried fruit in there, and you can see how moist it is. This is just delicious. I'm going to cut a nice big chunky piece of meatloaf. And I'm going to place it on a plate. And you have to have some pickles. I've got some beetroot pickles here, and I'm going to add a nice big generous dollop next to it. Perfect. And keeping it simple today with a little salad on the side, I'm just going to dress it with some olive oil and a very small pinch of salt, and then give it a mix. And then on the side, meatloaf is one of those dishes everyone should know how to make because it's so easy to do, it's really cheap to put together, and it can be eaten hot or cold, like I said. The next day in a sandwich, you must try it with buttered bread. I promise you, you're gonna love it just like I do.